For apologies there, for slightly lag in proceedings. Instant siding. I think definitely the weather playing part in things here today. It's all topsy-turvy a little bit as this is it's not back on lap 3, so the sim coach coming to the end of their stint, but they are out of sync with everyone to the tune of 3 laps. Austin now, well, I say now in the car, he has been for the lap 3 after Collins experiencing those issues. Having a micro panic there that it wasn't all streaming once more, but it is. We're okay. We're all right. Change around there in GT3. Nathan Anstis now into the car. Talking about into the car. That is Vudchow in after Ryan Hamilton getting into the 57. Campbell in too as well for effect. To see where they come out in relation. Kontos has remained in the JD Sim Racing Corvette for another stint. So, intrigued where they're all going to come out and shuffle around. Now, a bit of... looking at this, Wilson gets into the Effect 909. Chris Chatterton into the Prestanda Nomad 56. There they are. Copeland only... I tell you what, he is hauling something. He's got that gap down to 2.3 seconds. The 57. This might not all be over here. Where's the 56? Is that going to come out in front? Yes, it is. There you go. There you go, folks. It's going on between the Prestanda Nomad cars, but look who's only 1 point. That was about 4 seconds before the round of pit stops. Now, they saved themselves about 7 attempts in the pit stops, but even so, the Mustang's back. It's back with a bang. And it's 1.5 seconds. Oh, it creeps up once more. As long as these two work together, if they don't trip up over one another, they can pull that gap out once more. Effect have come back out in front of JD Sim Racing. Exactly what they would have wanted. So as we're at the top of that, let's have a bit of a run through standings and where we're at. And go back to the previous hour. James Ibram led nearly every single lap. Take out of pit stops, he has led every single lap. And they're leading the Effect Simulations 906 team. Tune of 21 seconds, 1 hour in. At that rate, they will be about 60% of a lap ahead. So just over half a lap ahead of the sister team come the end of the race. That still has no driver change there either. John Brilliams has remained in the car. Incidentally, remember, I'm just setting fastest sector 1 on that lap that we're watching. The personal best in sector 3. Well, good luck for them. Yeah, Williams taking second place away from Lindsay as that remained there. And talking of which, bit of a blink, splits our top 2 in GT3. It's going to bring Oakland back into it. No, concentrate what you're on to at the moment, Timothy. Let's go through things here. So, yeah, TNT, they are in third. Started second. Raccoon Sim Racing fourth. And Guy Kalau for Coyote Racing after a contact with the wrong stuff, meaning that they were lost second place. Thunder Nomad 56. Got Chris Chatterton in the car now. It's going to be a big lap coming here from Ibram. Fastest of anyone in sectors 1, 3 and 4. Right across the line. I'm intrigued by this one. This could be the brand new fastest lap of the race. They already hold it with a 1:46.34. $1:46.89. Interesting. Losing out to traffic. So yeah, 56 leads the 57. There's only 6 tenths between them, and look who's closed it right in. He's got the bit between his teeth. The wrong stuff after contact with Coyote Racing's LMP2. It's now back in the fight. It's only 8 tenths behind. And then, well, Lord Denham leading me nicely on to my next point. Josh in the Effect GT3. Yes, he's in the 909. Josh Wilson, driver change there. Austin William Campbell putting in the first stint. Wilson in for stint 2. After, well, a great opening stint. Closing up the gap and then getting past the JD Sim Racing car, which Kontos completed the first stint. Remained in for the second stint. Oh, over the limit in for a second stop there. What? What's happened? This might give us some clues. Just as Jaquicus. Ooh. Well, okay. Not the end of the world. Not the worst thing we've seen, but we're also changing drivers. Well, Justice Pirinorcus getting into the car there. Sharples, Bruno Bottica, the 2 old dudes in cars. Drivers, the McLarens are 6th and 7th in class at the moment. Pirinorcus heading out for over the limit. Who've now dropped after that. Off spin to 8th place. Well, I say 8th. There goes. Oh, what a race these guys have had. Well, I see these guys. Alistair Hatcher for 80. Well, no, it was Glenn Humberstone, wasn't it? Of course, in the opening stint. Hatcher into the car now. The 88 Tech Porsche. And what a race they've had. Up, down, yeah, like a yo-yo. Round a little bit. Completely in top 10, it's Raccoon Sim Racing. Got Team Potato, who've, well, unfortunate incident at the start. Collision with the SimCoach.co.uk blue car that was having hardware issues and screen freezes. Couldn't see it, collected them. One of them things. I mean, very easy for me to say as a neutral, but yeah, gutting when it had happened. Foster, after Dean Collins had to come in and swap out on lap 3, they have now pitted. Foster remaining in the car. Only retirement so far, that was the JD Sim Racing Junior McLaren on lap 19. Leaders currently on lap 34 in GT3. Wow. This has been eventful, hasn't it? And there's still a few more stories to be told here in the final round of the UKSR Auto Endurance Series by simcoach.co.uk. Partnership with Motorsport. Okay. Chadderton pulling away in the 56. That gap was 3 tenths. It's now up to 1.2, so nearly a second loss for Hamilton in the 57. Copeland will be desperate. Oh, defensive line from the McLaren, just hugging the inside where eventually moves back onto the racing line. Think about it for a second. Ooh, what's happening here as Aaron Orcus responding to losing that place to Hatcher in the 88 Tech. Porsche's going head to head here, and it's now back ahead. As there comes Lindsay in the TNT LMP2. It's heading on by. Down the outside we go. 1, there's 2 covered off now. Right, breaking that gap. The 56 unable to pull away from the 57. This feels very, very early for our leader to come in. Very, very early indeed. I thought that was going to be a drive-through for a second there, just teasing me a little bit. Yeah, 906 in for their second stop. Ready. From the leads and maybe looking to fuel. Trying to get a little bit creative here and find the way around things. Work their way around it. Down to 3 temps. Down to 2 temps. But it's not close enough for the wrong stuff. It's not quite close enough for the moment. New pit lane. It's got to be a good 5 or 6 years now. It's the perennial benchmark, isn't it? Was it before or after lockdown? Lockdown was 4 years ago now. Where has that time gone? Where? Talking of time, the Raccoon Sim Racing LMP2 just splitting them there and give the 57 Prestanda McLaren a little bit of breathing space as that gap doubles up to 6 tenths of a second now. 908 Effect Simulations LMP2 now into the pits. See whether this driver changed there. Ibra remained in the car. The 906, 908. And no change. I think Williams going to remain in the car for the moment. I think it's this creative fuel strat. TNT there. They're trying to play that. We saw it at Sebring and they brought them right back into the fight. Going to be more of the same here at Silverstone in the final round of the season. Chance just losing a bit of time right now. Why? That would have been a nervous time for the wrong stuff watching the Coyote LMP2 just come on by after collision earlier on that saw them drop from second into third. They fought back. Excuse me. They fought back. But the late great Murray Walker said, catching people is one thing, passing them is something completely different altogether. Chadson finds a bit more of his rhythm and extends it out to a second, but I mean, should they play the game? Should the 56 just hang back and Give the slipstream to the 57 and up it to remain in second place. That Mustang looking really good in a straight line down the straightaways. Doesn't seem to be happening. It's teetering around that 1 second mark, and of course the last thing you want to do is inflict pain on your own races. Yes, there's helping your teammate, but sometimes there's only so much you can do, and sometimes you've got to come adrift like a toxic X. Not saying that Ryan Hamilton is a toxic X. I mean, he might be. I don't really know the guy. Might he? Not be. Talking of toxic, Wilson just dropping a few temps there, blowing Contos and that JD Sim Racing Corvette's come back into play. Go. 7 temps the gap, but Chadderson just dropping 4 attempts, allowing Hamilton just to pick up a bit more of that slipstream, help him to defend from Copeland, who I think if he was wise and if he was smart now, he may be doing it already anyway. Like, look, you two, I can see exactly what you're on to. I know. Done it ourselves as a team. I'm just going to fuel save. You two crack on. I'll stay within range, and let me use all this lovely draft just to great mileage. And that could be the strategy that helps them and flips their fortunes on ahead and brings them right back into play. Having started on pole, would have been the move, strategy that takes them back to the top in GT3. Copeland definitely just settling in here. The Rottle stuff. That's what's happening. Oh, wow. Just about to say, it's getting really, really close. Troll of Raccoon Sim Racing. Well, that just thought we watched it live. Watched it happen. So that was right on the back of the 88 Tech car. And last time around, they were second. No, sorry. Half a second faster. 88 Tech. But, well, now they're 6 seconds behind. So I think that's that one. Done and dusted. As TNT in from the lead of LMP2. I said about these alternative strategies and bringing them back in. It's what we saw at Sebring, and looks like it's happening once more. Chadderson, that lead only down to 2 seconds. Look at how close Hamilton is. Oh, hello. And this could be the switch around as he pulls alongside as well. Maybe it wasn't one person dropping back to help the other. Hamilton remains in second, but this is just all... I mean, this is playing right into the hands of the wrong stuff. On board with Kenny from the block. A block being more block V8, 5 litres in size. Oh, he has a bit of a look. Pulls alongside the McLaren. Takes back in. Down the hanging straight towards Stowe. See that feeling the pressure right now. It's Hamilton, and it just allows Charles to have that bit of space. Cruise Sim Racing into the pits, and the driver change. Daniel Slatter in for the car for them, the Dane taking on the third stint. Chadson pulls that gap from Standard Nomad 56 back out to a second. The only thing I could be thinking of is, what I was saying earlier, is that Copeland is playing the fuel saving strategy. Of the top three, our leader pitted on lap 31, second place, lap 30, lap 29, the wrong stuff. Five leader V8, she a thirsty girl. Showcased by those pit strategy stats there for you. That's something I haven't done today. A look at what we're dealing with weather-wise. I don't really have to look at the clouds as we always do. 20 degrees track temperature. 18 ambient. Copeland just hoping that that's the lead car, the Effect 906 should have just held up the 57 a little bit. Certainly be hoping for him to hold up the 56, but he doesn't. Switch around the outside, job done for the race leader. Passes the lead car in GT3. Gap having been down as low as around about just over 2.5 tenths. Now back up to just over a second. Fighting, in the fighting between the two Prestanda Nomad cars. What is potentially could cost them here with Copeland right hot on the heels. Far off race distance now. Being our top three just will not leave each other alone, will they? They will not leave each other alone. I'm talking about not leaving each other alone. Wilson unable to get that effect simulations McLaren away from the clutches of Contas's JD Sim Racing Corvette. Excuse me. They But dropping down to half a second. See the effect. 908. Who has? It's this alternative strategy. Look who's right behind. Where have we seen this before? Oh, that's right. Sebring. What happened? Well. You got time to go back and look. Buckle up. You're in for a wild ride. That's for sure. Lindsay versus Williams 2. Oh, and Williams just held up a little bit in traffic there. Yeah, and it's the JD Sim Racing Corvette. Around Luffield they go. Around the outside. Cost them a 2-3 tenths. And look who's right back into play once more. Into play, and he's here to play, is Lindsay of TNT. Further down the field in GT3. After getting to this stage last time, Raccoon Sim Racing now back onto the back of the 88 Tech Racing Porsche, and let's hope they don't end up spinning it like they did last time. Ooh. Given a bit of assistance there from the sister LMP2. Lots to look at now. It's all coming alive here as we reach the halfway stage of the race. Pulls the driver's right, or does it? Gives it the old fakeroo. Oh, hold on. Can I click on it quick enough? Yes, I can. They're side by side, and there's traffic in front of them. And TNT have used the traffic. It's the lead GT3. They've used them as a pick. Williams will have the momentum right round the outside. Will he be able to hold on to P2? Don't do it, boys. Don't go side by side into cops. Here we go. Buckle up, everyone. Oh, they're still side by side. They're holding hands round the circuit practically right now. But it's Lindsay who relinquishes. Williams back in front, back into P2. On board with the American right now, Benjamin Lindsay of TNT. Pulls to driver's wide. Are we going to lunge up the inside? Yes, we are. We're going to take second place. There's contact again. And in a repeat of what happened at Sebring, it's all ended in tears once more between them. Didn't wait to the end of the race this time. Oh, and he just got caught on the curves and moved out in front of Williams. Hold on, I clicked on that a bit late. There we go. See him emerge on the right there. I think the helicopter view was a little bit more telling of that situation. Just got on the curb, it caught the rear of the car to slip, and I just moved into Williams' way. And I'm gutted. I'm gutted. It was flashbacks to Sebring, the great racing we saw between those two. Time to test yourself down. We've still got an hour and a half to go. It's 90 minutes. We're at the half-time interval. Normally it's a time where it winds down, you can go to the toilet, you can get yourself another drink or two and the food and just settle yourself down in for the second half here. No, not this lot. They're all kicking off. Talking of kicking off, the Mustang now as close as it's been in a few laps. Quarter of a second behind the Pretender Nomad 57 that's getting a tow from the 56 in front of them. This hasn't been the walkaway result like we've come to expect from Pretender Nomad. But it's 2v1. It's David and Goliath type scenario. That is Raccoon finally ahead of 88 Tech. And they keep it. Little look exactly how this unfolded. Lovely move on the brakes, just did enough to create a bit of a roadblock. And circuit knowledge coming into play, knowing that okay, I've got a left hand coming up, it's tight. The hairpin, we double back on ourselves. Just keep it up the inside there on this place, and it was absolutely spot on. And you get the feeling that this will come down to pit stop strategy. That is the only way that the wrong stuff are going to do the right stuff and get themselves ahead. But that is how they've sort of been just playing this one, haven't they? They've just been sat behind, lapping up the fuel-saving efforts. I think that's exactly what's happening in the battle for fourth as well between Effect and JD. Pontas, after being passed in the previous stint, was sat behind. Effect 909 has got Josh Wilson on board at the moment. Type is crazy. Throw the proverbial blanket over. There's only 3 tenths between them. On board with the Mustang once again. And the McLaren's got better towards the end of their stint. I mean, not far away from them looking stronger if what we saw was correct. Mustang definitely won't have taken as much out of its tyres in comparison to the Beater. Just sat there, just chilled. Gonna pull out, it's down under 2 tenths of a second. Maggis and Beckett's won't do it through there. But he's looking tighter, looking like he's kept those tyres in a much better condition compared to McLaren's in front. They're looking a little bit twitchy. Well, feels like the battle just will not go away unless strategy is going to sort this one out between the 3 of them. It's half a second covering first, second and third in GT3 here in the final round. Round 4, the UKSR Autumn Endurance, sponsored by simcoach.co.uk and partnership with Motorsport. Okay. Well, okay. Okay, I thought the move might have been on there, but these camera angles can be deceptive. Makes it look like you're closer than what you really are, but I mean, how much closer do you want to be? It was 0.2 of a second. The gap is up to 0.4 now. I don't know about you, but that's more than enough gap for me. Don't want to be too much closer. And this feels like a little bit like an oval race in some way. It's just like winding down the clock here. We're waiting for the last 10 to 20 laps. It's all kicking off. That's where we're really earning our money. Now, we're just in cruise mode. No worries. So what is your predictions in GT3? Who will take it? Will it be one of the Prestanda cars? Or will it be the wrong stuff? They're starting to look a bit more aggressive. Starting to look a little bit more racy is the wrong stuff, and Ken Copeland throwing more shapes out there than you'll see on the dance floor of a small town nightclub. 2 a.m. Oh, both twitchy on corner exit. Here we go. We're alongside. This is going to be the move for second. No, it's not. We back out of it. We tuck back in once more. But Copeland is hell-bent on making Ryan Hamilton's life an absolute misery as we go right round the outside. We try and pin it down here. We know we'll have the inside, and that's the move for second in GT3. That's the wrong stuff through. What can Copeland got? Or has he got anything? Because look at the drive off the corner the McLaren's got as it pulls back alongside this side-by-side. Down the Lewis Hamilton straight. Oh, our leader with time in the bag here, though, and it's back up the inside. Copeland keeping it pinned there. Oh, they're both loose and Larry on corner exit out of Luffield. And the McLaren fighting back, surely not into cops. You don't go for a move here. It's bold, it's risky, and he thinks twice and he pulls back in. And I think that might just give the Mustang enough breathing space. Meanwhile, sister Prestanda Nomad McLaren has scampered away up the road, the 56, now 1.6 seconds ahead. And now, as it's a straight fight between themselves and the wrong stuff, how much were they sandbagging? How much were they holding back just to assist and help their team and give them the draft to tow them along to keep them in second? It's worked out to no avail whatsoever. Oh, hello. Talking of no avail, talking of being hell-bent. Guess who's back? Back again. Lindsay's back. Tell a friend. Oh, it's still there. A bit of tiredness kicking in. The shit pens come out. The bad songs. Just don't get this sort of value with other broadcasters. You know, you've got great professionals like Lewis McGlade. They're off doing great stuff now. Even our very own Paul Walsh has gone on to great things as well. They don't give bad banter like that. Probably why they've ended up doing better off than what I have, you know. But hey, it's what it is. Here's what it is. They're not here witnessing this great fight for second. in LMP2. It's a clock top. That's. I had a panic there. I was just glancing across at the live timing and big black mark come across. It's because Coyote Racing are into the pit lane. Thought we lost someone. I was worrying it was in our lead battle for GT3. Thing is, that was 1.6 seconds, wasn't it? It's now down to 1.2, so he's hauling ass. It's all about the Americans now. They're not hanging around. This gap was 6 seconds. Running his own race, but getting involved in a bit of a fight. That is simcoach.co.uk Blue, I do believe. Yeah. The Porsche. Amy Foster. Compromise Lindsay's entry there into Stowe. Phase him. So much grip in that TNT car. Despite the compromise entry to what is probably his second fastest corner on the circuit. Third. Probably Cops, Maggots and Beckett's. And oh, the lock up. They trip up over one another. Is he unable to make it count? Unable to make it stick? Someone should tell him there's another hour and a quarter left to go. Harold S. You taught us. Hello to you over on YouTube. What's the plans for next season, GT3 League? I genuinely don't know, my friend. Genuinely don't know. I'm not going to lie to you. I tell you what. I'm watching this. Let me go and be nosy. See if I can sneak out any. No. Don't do that, Timothy. Oh, there be traffic on the horizon. Who's going to benefit from this one? Will it be Effect? Will it be TNT? This is the JD Sim Racing Corvette for them both to pick off first. This could help, actually. The Effect McLaren. Just give them a bit of Wilson a bit of breathing space. Yeah, it does. The flash of the lights. Contos not enamoured by that. So he lost nearly a second. In fact, I think probably was a second. No, about yeah, probably about that. Watching it diminish. So Harold S. I've looked, mate. I'm unable to see him. Just generally don't know what the plans are. I imagine, you know, a bit of a hiatus, a bit of a break. We've got obviously Christmas coming up. I mean, can you believe it? 24th of November. Where's November gone? Blinked and well, that disappeared. Oh, race leader in. Look at it, James Ibram. Are you going to have a driver change? Are you going to remain in? He's looking like he's going to remain in the car. Yes. Remains in. Let's have a little check-in down in GT3. What's happening? Oh, no, Joe Spencer's got in the car. I lie. A late driver change there. Doing their stop. Yeah, that's what's happening. Now, the eagle eye viewer would have spotted that from the timing tower on the left-hand side of the screen. But, now let's remember, that gap was 1.6 seconds, 2.6 seconds, 2.6. It's even more after the contact with, I think all in, it cost them about 6 seconds, that contact with Coyote Racing's Guy Kalau earlier on. So, let's go here, because it's all kicking off here. There's your top three in LMP2. Spencer has come out right in the middle of this fight, and there's contact there between himself and Lindsay. TNT. But it's like what we've got for the lead in GT3. Two teammates ganging up on one other team. I mean, you see it in real life, so it's not... It's what happens. So Lindsay needs to remember here that on a completely different strat. Completely different. As Lindsay pulls alongside, he's going to sneak up the inside. Oh, it's a cop, Maggots and Beckett's. Hold tight, breathe in, breathe in. They're side by side, still on corner, wrecks it. Nobody gives an inch. Nobody budges. Spencer holds fast. He'll have the inside into Stowe, but what momentum will Lindsay carry all the way around the outside? Will he swoop into PT? Will he overtake the 906? He's going to have the inside line here. But he doesn't need it. Under braking, past the 88 Tech Porsche. He's lost about, well, just over a second to Williams. Actually, no, exactly a second. That loss from where Spencer came out, right in front, well, of Lindsay, that TNT LMP2. Ooh. Well, this is going to be pretty mundane in LMP2. All of a sudden, I mean, he likes to touch paper once more. I've had to sit down to compose myself. Get ready for when it all happens once more. Because you know for a while it's going to happen. You know there's going to be drama. There's at least another 2 more twists to the tail here in LMP2. Standard Nomad 56 and the wrong stuff. They've dropped the Standard Nomad 57. Now 2.3 seconds behind our top 2 in GT3. Contest after losing all that time due to LMP2 traffic has now put that gap down to quarter a second. The Effect 909 McLaren in GT3 that currently lies in 4th. Oh, this is an interesting. Is this another one where we're seeing for second, where it just sits behind and fuel saves this one? Bit of a change. Oh, hold on. Talking about bit of a change. Look, in the blink of an eye, he's right onto the back of him. A bit between the teeth. Down at TNT. Needs to use our boxing analogies like I used earlier on and show my age a bit. Froch versus Groves. 3 fights they had in the end. Big crackers of a fight. Prior. They're still remaining in contact, but all 3 of them on different strategies here. Williams Race lead in, the 908 trying to fuel save undoubtedly his way around this one. But the 59 TNT, which is just hell bent, going hell for leather. But as for Joe Spencer, well, not too sure. Happy to sit behind at the moment, and there you go, your leader in. A great mileage from the guys down at TNT because they've been racing hard and not hanging around. Or is this a change up in strategy from effect in the 908 car? It's definitely hammer time now for TNT, and they're onto the grass. Spooked there. They're heading into through turn 1. Lose a whole bunch of time. They pick up any time apparently. I have to try and burn off. Holds on to this one. Holds on. But talking of holding on. Oh, nearly contact there on corner entry. And it's the same place that we saw in LMP2 just moments ago. Copeland turns up the wick of Charlton, starting to test him out here. Ask the questions. What sort of metal you got? How do you feel about constantly checking your mirrors? Corner entry. Is Williams. So I stopped for 37 seconds, which seems a bit. No, 32. Oh, jeez. Deceiving me there. Wow, sports cars have never been looking as good as they have been really in terms of iRacing. Of course, next season we've got Ferrari, LMDH, GTP, whatever you want to call it. Either way, coming to iRacing. I heard on the grapevine through my sources, the Lamborghini will come within the next couple of seasons. How true that is, I don't know. Interesting to see as well what how Rennsport responds to all this. Came along, big hype, and just sort of diminished off really, hasn't it? And of course you've got Le Mans Ultimate as well, the one game that's not the full field in there. Certainly not the GT3. Still running the GTEs, in fact. Not that I'm complaining about that. I love the GTEs. I mean, you think back to 2018, sorry. It was at its heights. BMW were in there for their one and only season. At Le Mans that year. Le Mans getting hit by the bot really bad, but still after 6 hours of racing. GTE Pro. They were all nose to tail pretty much still. Led by the two Porsches that day. The 911 RSR. What a machine. So visceral drive. only, what, 4 minutes away now from the end of hour 2. 1 hour left to go. That's a bit of change. I can tell you, TNT are lapping, based on the last lap time, 2 seconds faster than both the effect cars. Not 2 tenths, 2 seconds a lap. Bad's come around once more, so I'll update you with those ones. I mean, also in strategies, of course, the 96 running heavy fuel. Says the 908 now as well. Williams has remained in the car. But for how hard they've been pushing that TNT LMP2, it's amazing they've gone as long as they have. To switch it up, I ran a bit of a longer stint too. Into the end of stint 3 now. You're abreast with what's happening there. You can see the mistakes. Shadderton just running a bit wide. Probably looking at the clock thinking as well, you know, okay, right, we've got tactical off-tracks to use here. Yeah, well, maybe well within the, the limits of penalty points. Let's use a few of them. Keep ourselves ahead. Aggressively throwing shapes here. Thinks twice, backs out. Tucks back in once more. Does the wrong stuff Mustang. And I do believe from my eyes that was the 88 Tech Porsche. They're just going it round to the lap. That will mean they will have lapped after that. Everyone up until and including 10th place in GT3 after 2 hours. In the other close battle that we've got, JD Sim Racing still keeping that 3 to 4 tenths gap between themselves and the Effect Simulations 909 McLaren. And Josh Wilson. Hopefully really starting to ask questions now at the end of this second stint. They ran shorter than everyone else. 2 laps, in fact, shorter than the Persona Nomad 56 McLaren. Only 1 lap shorter than the 57, which is now 2.5 seconds behind these two. Odd dudes in cars. Darren Sharples in the number 4 into the pits. It's maybe about a minute or so early from them. Be a little bit disappointed with the economy they got out of that. Brilliant. Botica has moved ahead. Driver change as well in that car. Sharples out of the car. Brockner back in. Final stint. Double stinting today, but obviously a split double stint for Brockner. Dane. James. So TNT haven't short fueled, whereas both the effect cars have. Saying they're not going particularly far on a full tank. I mean, you're spot on there, mate, but they are going hell for leather. And there you go, right on cue. Look who's into the pits. Your leader. Where will they come out? Oh, also him is the Mustang from 2nd place. Where is Williams? There he is. TNT back out. Going. Back out in second. And back out in front of the Mustang. Now here's the thing. Yes, they might not be going very far on a full tank, but how's this going to shake down come the end of the race? In synchronicity, we've done the Nomad into the pits. Also, the JD Sim Racing Corvette. Between Sim Racing and LMP2, they head down pit road. It's a busy, busy pit road right now. Cars are plenty about. Right. Wait, so that does not mean that the first time in this race, the 909 effect, McLaren will lead a lap. Chad Bolt back into the car in the 57. Matthias Vudshell back into the Prasanda Nomad 56. Where is the Mustang? I hear you cry. There it is. Coming past the end of pit road. Right, Nomad out. 56 out, ahead of the 57. There is the Mustang, so it's ahead of the 57 once more. 57 had led early on. Has lost a bit of time, though, to the 56. 1.5 seconds the gap. Before, it was around about, well, half that, roughly. There's work to do, definitely, although we're already taking a couple of attempts out of net race leader in GT3. I know it shows second, that's because the effect simulations McLaren, the 909. I mean, Team Potato down pit road as well. Think too much on them. Driver change as well, 88 text Sean Dobby into the car. That's the name of it. Wow. GT3 leader comes in. Now, they are in a battle with JD Sim Racing. David Contos is going to do the whole race, then, that means. Well, not stopping until the end now. Austin William Campbell back into the 909. Who had incidentally caught and passed Contos. Where is that one? Right. Butchow is losing time. Copeland in the Wrong Stuff Mustang. Heading out there, you just see it in the background. Here's the JD Sim Racing Corvette. Out comes the effect simulations McLaren, and it is 2.9 seconds, maybe 2.8 by the time it settles down. The difference. So as we're all sort of shaken down now from our round of pit stops, let's take you through the order here. The end of the second hour at 906 leads LMP2, but with the top three on very different, well, I say very, on different strategies. A little bit hard to work out at the moment. TNT That's a Benjamin Lindsay there in second. James playing 906. Yeah, they're not short fueling. They're going for a full tank. Not getting great miles on it. Fair enough. But it's got him into second. Sometimes it's just, yeah, you can fuel save. Sometimes it's that net pace, isn't it? How will this all shake down come the end of the race? We've got the 908 then of John Williams. Now, this is 13.5 seconds down the road. Is it time to start worrying? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe they've got it all in hand. I don't know. We'll find out shortly. We'll find out within the next hour, that's for certain. In fact, we're not far after that, next 50 minutes. Raccoon Sim Racing in 4 for Coyote, rounding out the LMP2 field. Down in GT3. 56 third, been third for quite a while. Leapfrog the 57. But closed down to half a second is the wrong stuff. That gap was, what, 1.6 seconds after the pit stop? It's caught him very quickly. He's caught them very quickly in third. And Chappell back in the 57 Prestanda Nomad. Now, this car had... wow, this driver in this car, I'd say. Brilliant opening stint. Smashed it out. But work to do here, and maybe looking like struggling a little bit. I don't know. Here in the second stint. Effect Simulations 909, they are in fourth. 2.5 seconds against JD Sim Racing, who they've been battling with for most of the race. In one guise or another. Over the limit, we've had an adventurous race. Oh, there we go. They lie sixth. GT3. Old dudes in cars. A driver change there. Brockner. The first stint. Back in for the final stint in this race. 8.7 seconds ahead of the sister car. They've got Martin Cruz on board. Raccoon are in fourth overall. 9th in class. Sean Dobby. Teamed up with another Scottish guy whose name I can never remember, I'm sure. In Apex Racing Academy Porsche Series about 2 years ago. 3 years ago. 3. Really well in the opening 2 rounds and then fell by the wayside. It is. At Team Potato, we've had a rotten afternoon. Find themselves in 16th. Dean Collins back in the car. Hopefully he's sorted those screen freeze issues. Jamie Foster has been in since then. And, just as Pirano. So, okay, maybe that's why that car a bit ahead of where I thought it should be. Because yet to come in. Early retirement so far, the JD Sim Racing Junior McLaren. That's that on lap 19. GT3 leaders, currently lap 60. The personal best there from TNT, just popping out 1:46.46. Fastest lap of the race, though. That was a 1:46.34. I set by James Simpson, I believe. Currently, LMP2 are all positioned where they started this race. Which, if that's the way it all pans out, many might argue, was there any point? There's always a point, because you never know. You never know. But Copeland happy to sit back in. Needs to be wary, though, with Shadbolt in the sister Prestanda car needs to be a little bit wary, I feel. You know the pace that lad's got. You know full well. But I think that's something that just needs to be in a little bit of the back of the mind. Ken Copeland. It's food for thought, isn't it? We're 50 minutes here to go. So, love to hear from you. What has been your favourite race of the season so far? Spa, followed up by Sebring, to Lagos, Silverstone here tonight. Your fastest lap in GT3, incidentally. It currently lies at the hand of, well, ironically, race leader. 2 minutes, 0.42. Only 300 seconds difference between themselves and the wrong stuff Mustang. Wow. It's all full for thought, isn't it? I mean, it's very well, it's the perennial, you know, yes, it's the vanity of having that fastest lap, but it's how close you remain to it on all the other laps. If it's a one-hit wonder, there's nothing you can do. No. That's your question in some way. It's one of them things, isn't it? We'll see, just backing off a little bit now. The wrong stuff Mustang. Wish that car's too hard too early on. 45 minutes remaining, so 3/4 that final stint in GT3. Over the limit. And so just a quickest, getting run to the back of old dudes in cars. Marvin Cruz currently back in the car for that, the German. I haven't seen too much of him, obviously, other than that spin earlier on, which cost them quite a chunk of time, really, didn't it? Getting closer. You feel this is one's building up, don't you? Porsches just haven't really worked today. Or at least that's how it seems. Is this their shining moment? Just as Scott here. Can he make it stick? Can he even get close enough? We head down into Stowe. Bush Wilson over in the YouTube chat. That was sweaty. That definitely seemed that way with Bontas chasing you down the whole stint long. And that man had stayed in for the third stint as well. Crazy stuff. Well, we're now at the stage where nobody's close enough to trigger them. Looking at here. New additions coming for next season. Thruxton. Looking forward to that one of my favourite British circuits. We've had a lot of circuits. I mean, there is talk I've seen on Reddit about, is there... does iRacing have too many circuits? And it's a fair question, does it? You know, if you look at the Oschersleben, I mean, it's not really taken off. Not Kill as well, that came and went. We're doing an IMSA race there. Ironically, one of the best IMSA races I've ever had or been a part of. There was no crashes. Worked really, really well. And great fun. Jumping the curbs in the LMP2 for the chicane. Weird and completely counterintuitive, but great fun. Absolute great fun. I mean, and we've got British Circuit that's name completely escapes me. That's just joined the service. That's, I mean, it's all right, but I've never been a fan of it personally. So maybe a bit of a biased opinion. You know, there's going to be people out there who love it, but maybe iRacing is suffering a bit with too. But a lot of it depends on what you like driving. How those series fit around there, but then they tend to go to the same circuits as the big and tracks, whatever. Shepbolt has really put the foot down here, and he's caught right up onto the back of these two. Things hot up here inside the last 40 minutes. Not in this round, but of the season. My commentary. Well. Who takes it? Will it be Prestanda Nomad? Or Wrong Stuff's going to upset the cart here? I love an underdog story. Always have done. And the way that, you know, for them, 2v1... It's what you want to see. I remember commentating on a Pro VRS competition. Altus taking on in the final. It was 3 heat races. Well, only 5 laps long. It was around Daytona on the field circuit against, well, because the winners, well, the top 4, were actually taking part from Daytona. Now, I was gutted during Daytona 24-hour weekend, a couple of years ago this was, and, well, I was absolutely distraught because, naturally, of course, I thought, you know, A little free trip out of this one. No, I didn't. Had to remain in the studio. Gutting. Brutal, savage, wrecked. Taken. But yes, it was Altus versus 3 BMW Zebras. Yeah. I had to cut the broadcast short, interestingly, because of issues to Jordan Caruso's of Altus's PC that they'd flown out there. And coming into the final, start of the final race, they managed to many delays and billing on broadcast. Just managed to get it to the stage where it's, PC stable works and into the session, and then literally, one lap from the end, he died, and he got himself into second. Gutting. Absolutely gutted for him. Apparently went on to finish 4th in the rerun of that round. He's what could have been type moment for him. Coyote Racing into the pits. Joel Dutton. Nice. Well, here we go. Here we go. Now, based on my NASCAR terminology around the Mustang earlier on, normally it's just a case of winding down the clock and it all kicks off with 10 to go. Obviously, with 10 laps to go, that's still 14 minutes of racing. I think it's going to be a little bit later. But no. But this feels like it's winding its way down, just getting through the laps, and it's all going to kick off right towards the end. Oh, you watch it, just nothing happens. No, my luck. TNT still remaining second. That boy seemed to, in the chat, felt like it, or at least came across like it. They're all in hand, and it was all fine. I don't know. I'm not so sure. I love your confidence, but hey, what do I know? What do I know? "35 minutes remaining." Big glad we didn't have What Games Glen on the calendar for this one. It's my favourite track, but Interlagos definitely, is commentary-wise, is a close second. Always crazy races there. From the Renault 3.5. Always just get it. Last race, penultimate race of the season. Always carnage. Always drama. I say carnage, not in a negative way, just... yeah, there was normally a few accidents, but hey, open wheelers, being hard at it. Not that sort of hard at it, but, racing hard. That's a better word. As your leader, well, James Ibrahim spoke about the short fueling that was going on at Effect. There we go, and this is surely, actually, looking at this, Last stop. We get effect home. That sound is TNT heading on by. Well down. Well down. Pulling it up, of course. Going to get the cold start. Well, I say cold start. The bump start from using electric in TD. 26 seconds, the gap between Lindsay and William. I think personally, the way this is looking to me is that's fuel saving that's not trying to save us in or something creative. Love a strat. I didn't really come through. It wasn't meant to. It was Lucasade. Joshua was asking, what's in the can you just opened? Or, I mean, I'd love for it to be a can of whoop-ass. There's a few people I'd love to open a can of whoop-ass on. Unfortunately, you can't really. You know. Also, Benjamin Lindsay, second fastest lap of the race. A dirty 146.18, going a good 10th and a half faster than anyone has done so far this race. What's interesting is I was opening that can. I was not want to be, you know, blabbering away as I've done quite a bit. Ooh. Close all of a sudden. Also, Williams in the 908. I'm going to find out very shortly how this is panning out down in LMP2. Well, up in LMP2, but down in GT3. So the 56 has got away. 57 has rolled in the Mustang of the wrong stuff. Roles reversed here, and I'm intrigued to see what Aiden Chabot has got up his sleeve in that 57 McLaren. I just realised my comments about cans of whoop-ass. Very Alan Partridge, that. If you don't know who he is, then find plenty of clips over on YouTube. Steve Coogan, famous actor. Spoof TV personality character. So I mentioned earlier on that this might kick off. Probably a little bit early for this to really start kicking off in GT3. Or maybe this is it. They're just all running around at max capacity and they don't have any more, and this is how it's going to remain. Maybe. Just maybe. I'm going to work this out roughly. I think based on their current mileage, TNT will be in around about on lap 88, so around about 6 laps time, 6-7 laps time. That is my guesstimate. That'll be enough to see them through right to the very end. Will they have a 25-second advantage over Effect 906, but the 908 they have 44, I believe. Oh. Healthy. I reckon they could jump them uncomfortably. And they're going to short fuel. They need to get themselves home, and that's all they're going to need is, based on that, you know, if it's 5 laps time, that's 10 minutes time, they're going to need 20 minutes of fuel. Meanwhile, all I'm seeing is, apart from this lap, first time in a while, is greens and purples from Benjamin Lindsay. As oh. There you go. Bit earlier than what I was predicting. An average 22 lap stints previously. So meaning he would have come in on lap 88. We're on lap 84. Heads down pit road. Right, buckle up. So we know the 906 is surely going to come on past. There goes that. Benjamin Lindsay going to remain in the car. There we go, there goes 906. So out in front. Margin as well, I reckon. Yeah. Someone's got to dig deep. Someone's got to make a move here. We're running... Yeah, lower on fuel, and Williams is pushing hard right now because that's the sort of move you make when you're not up against the clock. Oh, hello. Looking elsewhere, wondering what's going on. And you miss it. And this is how it happened. The 57. Well, you have pretty much a regulation pass there. And into the hairpin. James Ibram saying on YouTube, not a chance that TNT would jump them. Oh, they've jumped the 908, my friend. Because they didn't stop until the end. And they've gained a big chunk of time as well. And they're only 17 seconds behind you. You need to feel safe? Well, I'd say behind you. Behind your teammate, Joe Spencer. I mean, do you need to feel safe to get yourself home? If you do, you could be in a bit of trouble here. He's got the bit between his teeth for Zayden Shadbolt. Feel it, you can sense it. So is this going to go back to how we saw earlier on where the 57 catches the 56 and makes a sweeper? Oh, it was the other way around, wasn't it? The team orders come into play? Potentially. I don't know. I think so. I think they'll swap around. Maybe. Ansel and postcard, please. James affects 9016. Joe Spencer has got this. Well, I hate to tell you, mate, but that time is coming down. It is coming down. Down to 16.59 now. But I don't know whether it's necessarily coming down fast enough. 25 minutes left remaining. Final round of the season. Oh, the wrong stuff are in. Oh no, is that a drive-through? I think that is. Yeah, it is. Oh no. Oh, well that puts pay to that one then. They've hit the incident point limit. They've got them drive-through. At 45 points, I do believe it was, to invoke your first drive-through. Off the top of my head. I could have that very, very wrong. Could could have that very wrong indeed. And now, Sean Dobby coming up behind Team Potato. Rob Windsor got back into that car instantly. 88 Tech Hills of McLaren. .45x is very impressive. I mean, it is. It's I mean, hats off to them. Mind you, had that netcode spin earlier on with the LMP2 of Coyote Racing. I think they kept it at the wall, but the no-fault system plays a part. Bobby, not far off now, is he? ET8 Tech. Closing in on Team Potato here in the closing stages. Season and the race as well. I mean, interesting one, isn't it? What is now the best sounding GT3? Using plenty of that curve as well, rumbling away. I'm not a fan of the new Ferrari. Give me the 488 any day. Missed that car. Oh, Pretender Nomad. Good show. Setting the fastest GT3 lap of the day. 2 minutes dead. 0.39 seconds. 900s faster than... No. 600s faster. It's fastest set by the wrong stuff. The hands of Ken Copeland, I think, did that one from memory. Clock ticks down. We've got 20 minutes. Still plenty of time here for Dobby to execute the move on Winter. Still plenty of time. We've got this one in the bag here. We're chill. We're all right. Taking another 10th out of him. Oh, no. You don't want that with someone blinking in front of you. Oh. I don't know what's worse, when you get knocked out in the dying stages of the race or early on. When it comes to endurance, it's gets up and knocks out earlier. It's like, oh, we've done all this prep for nothing. Great. getting it knocked out late on. So, oh, we've just raced all this time, all this way, done all that stuff, and then that's it. Bosh. End of. That was all pointless. Is there a happy medium? I don't think there really is there? I think it's just as depressing when you can't get written off either way. Whether it be League or the iRacing special events. And do you know what? We're only 2 months away from Daytona 24 Hour. How freaking scary is that? Oh. I mean... having a little glance at what TNT are doing. So last time around they were faster. 7 tenths to the second. 15 seconds though. We've got 19 minutes remaining. I don't see. No, it's not going to happen. It just that rate can't, because you know, let's call it a 2-minute lap. Let's say. You know, between front. Easy. You know. 2 + 2 is 4, -1, that's 3. Quick maths and all that jazz. We've got... what? 7 laps roughly remaining for LMP2. Probably 8 actually. Yeah, it'd be 8. If he takes a second off them, that's still... I mean, that would still leave them 5 seconds short. But a complete disaster for Spencer. And he can afford to have a wobble as well. Once or twice. And he'll still hold out. Late on, Raccoon Sim Racing into the pits. Their final stop of the day. They've got great. They've the best mileage out of anyone. That's their 4th stop. Everyone's already taken the 4th stop, and they did it near, damn it, 10 laps ago for some of them. 7 laps, I think. Yeah, Lindsay was the last one to stop on TNT. I did that on lap 83. Currently on lap 90. But yes. Fernando Nomad back together. That drive through just completely and utterly screw the wrong stuff. Shame. Gutting. But it is what it is. Will 2 teammates fight? I doubt it. James, I tell you, you're a fountain of knowledge, aren't you, my friend? So they waste time changing tyres because they'll be done fueling way before the tyres are done. But it doesn't matter for their race. Yeah. It doesn't, I mean, sometimes it's just about bringing the car home safe, really, isn't it? Over the limit, I've just a Stoichus, where the hell has that just come from? Just set the fastest lap of the race in GT3 and has done it by well over a tenth. Where's that just been lurking in his back pocket? I'll tell you what, lads, I'll just whip this one out. You know. Check this one out. Bang. Done. I mean, you're roughly about 2 hours and 40 minutes too late for that one, Justice. Now to put in that sort of level and that sort of consistency, you have to wonder, where would they have been come the end of all this? But they've been in qualifying. I don't know. I don't know. So we're really, well, I don't know. What are we? I mean, we've got literally nothing going on. We've got nothing. I mean, yes, these two are close, but their teammates, I think that they'll let the 56 win. That's my thoughts. I think the 57 will hold behind and go, do you know what? You have a win. Because it's all been about the 57 since they came into this championship. I mean, thank you very much for bringing two teams into the championship. But yeah, the 57 has definitely been the stronger car. Largely due to the driver that's in at the moment, Aiden Chabot. He has just been a couple of steps up from where they currently are, and you know, joined the team late. They joined the championship late as well, so double whammy. And well, it's banging in times that even the teammates were amazed by. So there we go. I love you, James. The race was approx 4.3 stints, so about 25 litres for LMP2 splash at the end. So is this one quite done and dusted? Got a few more splash, you know, a few people more splashing. Wow. The trials and tribulations head towards this last 10 minutes of racing and of the season all come to head, come to the end. As things head and it's the right direction. Of our drivers. James, if you split fascinating inside this. If you split your splash out of, oh, that's a bit of a tongue teaser. If you split your splash among the other stops, surely you need extra to stop less. You can't have done that. That means you're going to have to take more at the last stop than what other people would have done. I don't know. 75 litres, 60, 60, 75, 66. Clearly, I had a bit of a work on it, and it's what's come out of being the fastest. So, fascinating to see how that comes out. Fascinating. And no one really catching one another. That's it. I think we could be done. I think they're going to finish as they are. Ooh. Smack my mic one on the way out. I gutted JD Sim Racing Jr. couldn't finish the race off. One of those things. Been a big, some big drives from a few people this season. There's always one or two standouts. Doesn't matter what you commentate on, you're racing. Just have to spot them. Always. Well, not that we're counting it down, but it's 9 minutes now, and what's been largely, as I say, uneventful. That has negative connotations, but it's been a calm affair. We've had a few incidents, and that might be considered by other people as unfair. Others will see it as a racing incident. It's what it is, but that'd be long forgotten about. Certainly after bed tonight. So also less fuel in these stops allows for better average tyre life. Well, yeah, that's true, because you're not having to lug around so much more weight. I'm the guy to know about having to lug around extra weight. Have lost a stone and a half. Very chuffed himself. We're basing on James' stats. I believe we're going to have another LMP2 stop before the end. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure you will do. Me at half time, we're just hypothesizing. Got there in the end. Trying to conjure up ideas and grandeur. Is that the change around? Still side by side, aren't they? Are they deliberately going to change this one around? Are they still going to remain side by side? Oh, well, don't throw this one away. You've come 2 hours 53 minutes. If you end up colliding and losing this, then I'm sorry, you've only got two people to blame. That's both those drivers. Or maybe they just know what they're doing. They're both on voice comms to one another. Probably having a good old laugh about it. This old man is angry about it and go, "What are you doing? You know full well what you're up to. You mad lads." It's settled down a bit now, but Chow still remains ahead of Shadbolt, 56 ahead of 57. Let's have a bit of fun, and time in the bag, 13.7 seconds to Copeland. I mean, he managed to take that drive through and still come out in third. That's a big achievement, and it shows you the relentless pace that our top three have just set. It's bang, 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 bang. No one else has really got an answer for it. Until now. Coaching lessons from simcoach.co.uk. That would have sorted your problem out. I mean, lovely little plug there. Lovely little plug for you. Copeland is reducing that gap down. Has done by 8 tenths of a second, but it's too little too late. As you could argue, you know, if you don't keep trying to the end, you never know. But if this all goes wrong and ends in tears, I'll be infuriated with each other. have a run through where everyone is. Joe Spencer. Driver just trying to stroke this one home to victory here from Silverstone. We're talking about 12.1 seconds of early one. So, chat telling me, warning me, top three will need to pit. Still, last thing they want is to trip at one another and crashing into one of their own. That would be depressing. Well, it's come to a bit of an undramatic ending, hasn't it? Small grid tonight, I think that probably has played a part in the situation. Ooh, I've clicked the wrong button by accident. Didn't mean to do that, apologies. How's that managed to do that? I don't know. Okay. Bit of a moment. TNT, you have managed to take some chunks of time out of Effect 906, but yeah. I mean, it was a valiant effort. Chadson. I'm having kittens and I'm not driving the 56 now. No team orders here at Nomad. It could get interesting, couldn't it then? As we're into last few seconds here. It's coming around to complete the last half a lap of the race. It's going to be, isn't it? I believe we'll pick up. White flag being waved? No, it's not by the looks of things. So we're going to go another lap. It's my caught one or two people out then. They're a bit close on fuel. Unlikely though. I mean, valiant effort from Benjamin Lee, pushing all the way right to the very end. There we go. The checker flag is out. The white flag wasn't, but the checker flag is. And it's the 906 that's going to take victory here from Silverstone in the final round of the season. Congratulations to them. And a great, great drive. Right. No team orders. You've got only a few corners here. Does it end fairly? Does it end in tears? I think that the 57 is too far behind to make a difference here. Down in towards Stowe. Towards Last couple of corners, and I think Matthias Rutschau's done enough here to hold this one off. To claim victory for the 56 in GT3. They're going to take the checker flag. They're going to walk away with a victory. The final one of the season. 4/10 of a second after 3 hours of racing over the sister 57. Beautiful stuff. The wrong stuff, Mustang in the end. Picking it up, and well, attempts at donuts. It's feeble attempts. There's yeah. Go. That's what you need. Bit of cinematics. Jason, the team order is don't crash. Well, they didn't. And it worked out all right, didn't it? It worked out all right for them. Have we got... We have got some... No, we want that. We want that. We don't. We want... There we go. Classified results for you. Effect 906 taking the victory by 8 seconds over TNT. 908 make it the double podium for Effect here at the final round. Raccoon Sim Racing 1 lap down in 4th. Coyote 2 laps down in 5th. Let's take a little mooch down to GT3 so you confirm things up here. The 56 of Persona Nomad away with a victory by 0.4 of a second over the sister 57. Wrong stuff. I mean, it was in the end. It was that drive-through that killed them. But still, it's finished within 16 seconds of the lead pair. After that, pretty good result. Wonder how different it would have been if they'd not had that. It would have been there. Certainly a second for them. Then we've got in 4th is Effect Simulation 909. Stuff from them. JD Sim Racing, the Corvette, came home 4th. After the 909 got ahead, never really JD really catch them. It was a bit weird, really. Over the limit. This is what I was thinking of. No, that's a completely different team, Timothy. Excuse me. The cough's kicking in. Oh, well, let me mute my microphone. Sorry. It did let me mute. Never mind. By the by, me coughing aside. Oh, D's in cars. The first of the cars 1 lap down in 6th. Over the limit in 7th. Then it was the 8 old dudes in cars coming home in 8th. Raccoon Sim Racing 10th, 9th, and Team Potato in 10th. There we go, just add a bit of sync there. 2 laps down with 88 Tech. Gutting, really. They had a really crazy race. And had finished, well, being on course initially to finish inside the top 10, but and that cost them time. Simcoach.co.uk. I think that's a great result. Seems that they were well off the pace earlier on due to Dean Collins' desync issues, such like. So, yeah. Done really, really well to recover that one. And 13th, unlucky for some. Only retirement of the day. JD Sim Racing Jr. in the McLaren. Right. This is where I normally... Oh, no. It's, throw me out. Okay. Right. Anyway, anyhow, let's have a chat to... Should we have a chat to some people? Let's do that. Let's see... Oh, there's plenty of people sat waiting. That's what we love to see. Right. I need to do this in a professional manner. Know what I'm doing. That never happens. It always goes to pot a bit, one way or another. Normally, it's Discord audio. just lets me down. Shoddy. Absolutely shoddy. Who are we going to chat to first? I know. Right. Let's go for... Let's go for this. Thrown it in? Has it thrown it in? No, hold on. A few issues with the system here. There we go. We're getting there eventually anyway. Right. Lovely stuff. Bit of a clue. I think it's only right we have a chat to our race winners first of all. Yeah. Let's have a chat. 9:06. We've got both drivers. The luxury of this. We've got both drivers sat there waiting, ready and waiting. Let's use the right. There we go. Use the right thing, so we actually know. We'll make out like we actually know what we're doing here. It's all bollocks, really. We'll find out in a second as well whether I've got this one right and we can actually hear them. That will be a novelty, whether that works first time. I think it'll be the first time this season if it actually does work. Now joined by Joe Spencer and James Ingram. Congratulations, gents. Victory here today.
Cheers.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
There we go. Oh, it only bloody works as well first time. Marvellous. Right, yeah, I mean, great qualifying. Start off with, I think that there's no questions, two ways about it. Something
Thanks,
been working
Tim.
on?
Yeah, thanks for that. I did a lot for that.
Yeah, I know. Just rocks up and attended. It's what I do. You know, I just hang around and tag along to people and take all the credit. That's how it works generally. No, in all seriousness, though, I mean, a great lap, and I think it was about half a second as well, clear. Or it was before, I think TNT then closed up a little bit late on qualifying to about 3 or 4 attempts. But even so, a great lap from yourselves. Well, from you, James.
Yeah,
anyway.
I actually dropped 2.5 tenths on that lap as well, which was a bit annoying.
Yeah.
And a tenth and a half of that was in the last 2 corners. So it could have been better, but it was still pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. I think that's the best one I've done around Silverstone, so I'm not upset.
Definitely. And throughout the race, I mean, there were the top 3 in GT3. They were pretty much glued together for most of the race. I mean, I know you've got a lot of time in the bag quite often, so you've got that bit of air of flexibility to be able to get around them, get past them, etc. But it must make it quite challenging, certainly in certain parts of the circuit. I remember you caught them around like Maggots and Beckett's a couple of times as well. Just sort of talk us through that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll let you take this.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, James, honestly, like that first couple of stints, he just pulled us a nice, comfortable gap, and like you say, that just gave us a bit of a cushion, I guess, which allowed us to take our time a bit more. I think in those situations, you never want to ruin someone else's race, never mind your own. So, yeah, it was the comfort helps, but you know when you're racing neck and neck, I know our other car was in quite a close battle for a lot of the race with TNT, and I think traffic played a big part in that. So having the gap is nice for sure.
Definitely. And it's when you sort of approach them, is it a case of sort of picking your battles almost, of trying to filter your way through, or is it especially earlier on, you know, obviously later into the race, you know, you've got that time buffer, but as you know with multi-class, it's very easy to lose all that time quite quickly if you have a bad couple of laps and lose, you know, your net sort of time is quite a bit of a loss. So is it earlier on that you just try and plough through them a bit more with a bit more force than would do later on in the race, or is it you still treat it the same as the start of the race and the end of the race?
I would say, like, I tend to treat them as like I know that where I want to pass them, so I
Yeah.
slow up where I need to reduce the amount of pain I take later on. So like actually coming across them in Maggots and Beckett's, I think unless if you get it right, just like purely at the wrong time, right at the end, you don't lose too much time because you just lift and wait for them to be in the right space for you to pass them really quickly. So it doesn't really matter too much. Like you just sort of look ahead, you know where they're going to be, you treat them like another Apex. So you just know where they're going to be, and you just it's kind of like you just sort of think moves ahead. It's a bit like chess, and I think that's more entertaining, especially in multi-class. Feel like with single class it can be a bit dull, especially if if this race was
definitely.
single class, we would have had a
Oh,
huge gap, and it would have been a bit dull. Whereas I think the traffic breaks it up, makes it a bit entertaining. You see it as a challenge to get your way through. It's quite entertaining.
definitely. Well, congratulations, gents, on the solid, emphatic victory you had here today. Joe sent certain James Ibram there from Effect.
Thank you, mate.
906.
Thanks, Tim, and thanks for all your contributions, mate. So thank you for doing all that, and a big shout out to Effect as well. Looking for a top quality rig, go to effectsimulations.com. There you go.
Yeah. We've done the PR training this time.
There you go.
You have, yeah. Congratulations.
Cheers,
yeah,
Tim.
well done. You've passed that with flying colours. Mr. Busby will be happy.
He'll be thrilled.
He will be, yeah. If he wasn't too busy taking part in other lesser prototype championships for someone else, same fault. Anyway, congratulations, gents. Enough of my. Right, let's move on. Who are we going to pick next? I'll tell you what. We'll keep up this race winner theme, shall we? And we will. See, this is where I need to sort. It's all a bit late. Done and dusted with this now. So let's move down to. I'll tell you what. We'll do a double dose of. We'll do a double dose of Prestanda Nomad, shall we? Race winner. Well, half of the race winning team, should we say? Chris Chatterton, Aidan Shadbolt, second. Aidan, it sort of all fell apart. I'll start with you. You led the first half of the race, and it all sort of, it's that sort of middle stint is where it just seemed to sort of unravel a bit your race, really, didn't it? And sort of came apart. That Mustang was just a thorn in your side constantly, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, I think I could draw the rear end of that Mustang probably very accurately by now from memory.
Yeah.
It was basically imprinted in my brain. But that middle stint that you're talking about, we had our second driver fill in for the driver who normally drives Hawken because he's having electrical issues at the moment. So Ryan came in with about 5 minutes of practice in the actual session itself, and yeah, he performs great. So although on the face of it might seem like it unraveled, he put in a really good performance.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was talking more in terms of your just losing that chance of being the taking the victory, really. But hey, one person's loss, Chris, is another one's gain, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and we finally put it together tonight when we've not done the previous two rounds. Matthias drove a great stint in stint one, and we were discussing what to do towards the end of stint one with Aidan as well, because Aidan was trying to hustle and mistake out the Mustang, and we just sat back and fuel saved and got a lot of extra fuel through that first stint, which really paid off for us when I came out the pits ahead of Ryan with that extra lap. So that set us up, and then we had a really good run. That Mustang was fast. I apologise, I can't remember the name of the driver, but they were so quick.
Michael Brooks and
Ken.
whose name? Ken Copeland. That's it. I got there in the end eventually. Yeah, in a straight line, it seemed to be. Correct me if I'm wrong. You were for instance, through especially the latter half of Maggots and Beckett's, it seemed certainly that you were quicker through there. but then it got to the straight and it was just like, it felt a little bit like you just couldn't quite compete. And it was almost like when you run a car with really low downforce and everyone else sort of sets theirs up normally, if they can stay in front, you can't touch them on the straights, but then really caught behind them and you're losing loads of times in all the corners. Did it seem was it a little bit like that, or have I got it completely wrong?
Well, for the most part, yeah. So we were struggling with traction a lot, and when you have a car that was pretty fast in the straights as well with the Mustang, and then we're getting the aero wash from them, coming through Maggots and Becketts, it was really difficult to stay behind them and then also get that traction out of the slower corners. So every time we'd gain something, we'd lose it again, and it was kind of like a roundabout of kind of staying where we were, even though we knew we had the pace. Because if we backed off a bit, gained the tire like temperatures down again, we were able to come back really quickly at them. But as soon as we got into that half a second region, it was like we had no front end anymore. It was driving on marshmallows, to be honest. But we did kind of expect it, because the McLaren typically isn't very good around here. It's typically about 3 to 4 tenths down. Chris reckons he might even be half a second quicker in the Mercedes.
Wow.
So, like, we did have a car disadvantage. It happens in these series when we're locked in. We had the benefit in Sebring. But yeah, we put I think we drove the wheels off of the thing, and we put in our best performance.
And you mentioned about it being loose at the rear. You could certainly see that coming off of Luffield, both of you, like almost in synchronicity, where you're so close together on the track, sort of almost drifting off the corner exit. Was that more setup related? I mean, track temperatures were really cool. I think around about 20 degrees Celsius for most of the race. So was it setup worthy, or was it more just the car and where you're having to push so hard to try and keep up with, or at least keep yourself in the slipstream from the straights to keep up with the Mustang?
Yeah, it was mainly us trying to get every single ounce out of it. I think the setup was a good compromise, given we were down on just overall lap time compared to the other cars. It was a good compromise, and it did what it needed to do, but it was difficult to drive. But I think it was still the optimal setup we could have gone with, especially for a race like this. Yeah, I'm just very glad that the temperatures weren't higher.
Yeah, I mean that would have been a nightmare, to put it bluntly, realistically, for you if they've been much higher. What's for you guys? Come in sort of. I know pretty much sim racing sort of. Well, it doesn't shut down, but there's not a lot of championships running. What you got planned for the new year?
It's all yours, Chris.
We're just waiting for leagues to fire back up. So yeah, it's just waiting for the leagues to come back in January and February and get involved in what we can. But we're really happy with what we've achieved here in the 3 rounds we took part in. We didn't know what we were going to be up against when we signed up, but we've come away winning the 3 rounds that we entered, which is really, really good performance from us. Getting our team name out there, Prestanda Nomad on a stream, and a league that we've not took part in before. So yeah, it's been a really good 3 rounds for us as a team. We're really happy with how we performed, and see what we can get involved with in the new year.
Definitely. Well, congratulations, as you say. 3 wins from 3 across the team for the rounds that you entered. Late to the party, but it's been a pleasure having you. Congratulations, Chris Chatterton and Aidan Shadbot there for Prestanda Nomad. Let's have a little shuffle around once more. Who have we got? Let's have a look. Who got here? Now let's have a chat to. Let's have a chat to. We'll move through. We'll chat to John Williams of Effect Simulation 908. There we go. You're right, John. I mean, it was ding ding round 2 between yourself and TNT again, wasn't it? And I was a bit gutted that there was contact. I mean, we looked at it a few times on the stream. They seem to just get a bit too much up on the curb and then slip off it, and that's what caused the contact sort of thing. I mean, what that sort of situation, it can go either way. You must have been so relieved that it was yourself who carried on and then that went flying off in some ways.
Good evening, mate. Hope you're doing well.
Yes.
Yeah, I said to the boys, I came in here with a plan. I needed P3 or higher to claim the title. No incidents. So, and then when he was catching me, I thought, I'm just going to let him by. But then when he was close, I was like, nah, I can't let him by. I've got to race him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we raced. But unfortunately, from what I got told, I left a car in a half space. So, but it is what it is. You can't help it sometimes if you bounce off a curb. That's racing.
Yeah, it was one of those things really where it's the type of incident where if you come off unscathed from it, you feel like you've got away with one there. But if you're on the receiving end, you feel like it's really harsh. But ultimately, it's no one's fault, sort of thing. There was room there, and yeah, he just twitched, and obviously that's what caused contact. And it was always going to pit maneuver him, or it could have gone either way. So it's one of those things. But I mean, were you a bit worried? Obviously, they were just going hell for leather. It was, that's all they've done all season long, and was it a bit sort of worried? Obviously, you were running second for quite a while. Do you wish you hadn't maybe as fuel saved quite as much as what you did, or do you still feel that you got a decent result out of this and you're not too worried, even though they finished ahead of you?
No, I came in here for a P3. I wasn't bothered about the P1 or P2. I knew what I needed to do. As for the fuel saving side, I kind of, with all respect in the world, we knew what they were going to do. They were going to put Everett in the car first, and then they were going to switch it, and Benjamin would take over for the rest of the race. So I knew I could have had the pace over Everett. But yeah, as soon as Benjamin got in the car, I knew he was going to catch me eventually because he is a very, very, very quick driver. But yeah, it's just a case of just managing my own race, make sure I don't put it in a wall. I was I was sitting behind GT3 sometimes, going through Mags and Beckett's. That's how laid back I was. I didn't care. I knew he had the pace over P4 and P5.
Yeah, we did see that a few times.
All I needed was a P3, so
yeah, it was. Well, hey, at the end, you knew what you needed to achieve, and I think for the pace, no disrespect that you had over Raccoon and Coyote all season long, I think it was just doing your usual thing would have clinched that, and it works out an absolute treat. And hey, congratulations not on the third, but yes, it is the championship as well, isn't it?
it is a championship. But I would never have been able to do it without Cal. He was my teammate for 3 of the rounds. He is such a quick guy. He is absolutely rapid. He's the one that got us on pole each race, and
yeah,
it left me in a position where all I had to do tonight was just come and. Unfortunately, the LMP2 field was quite bare, but it
it is what it is, sort of thing, Yeah, but you still, at the end of the day, you still got to stand up, and you still need to pick out the result that you need to. And you know what it's like with multi-class racing. Anything can happen, in the blink of an eye. You stop concentrating, and especially through traffic. And it's, you saw, I was speaking to James earlier on. I was saying, but that battle for the lead between Prestanda Nomad and the Wrong Stuff, it was challenging coming through there, and because all 3 of them were right together, nose to tail. Certainly, when you come through like Maggots and Beckett's, and even through like Luffield and that, and trying to pick your way through, you see a few times where you got boxed. Everett, I think it was, he cleverly just used them as a pick and boxed you in.
Yeah, and there was one at I can't remember the corner now, but the end of the first straight, the left before it goes into the right. I can't remember the name of the corner.
Yeah.
But yeah, he boxed me in there, and I had to stick it around the outside, but I just let off the brake early, let the speed take me around, and go back on the throttle early, which I managed to carry enough speed through where I could go too wide through Cobbs, which I was quite, I don't know, scared, because I thought it was going to be the end of the race there.
Oh yeah, I was scared as well. I was like, someone's going to yield, and neither of you did. It was scary but beautiful at the same time.
Yes, I actually thought we ended up going to go through too wide through Maggis and Beckett's, which I was looking forward to, but we never did. I managed to get the edge on him in there. I said going up, and that's where you go going up towards the end of the straight, and then that's where we made contact. But as for the press stand and Nomad cars, I just want to apologise because on the last lap they were battling, and I kind of got involved by an accident. I miscalculated, so yeah, I owe them an apology.
Well, they're all happy anyway. You know, they've set out, didn't know what they were going to achieve, and did well. So they're all happy too. Fine, but well, congratulations for today, and chance on the and the championship as well.
Thank you, mate, and don't forget effectsimulations.com if you need a rig.
Not
Thank
one,
you, mate.
but 2 plugs. There you go. Right, next up, I'm going to save one of them to last, even though he's been sat in there the whole time. Let's move down to. I'm going to move to. Oh no, I'm trying to move it up into the wrong bit of software. There we go. We're going to head down to GT3, simcoach.co.uk. Dean Collins, Dean, absolutely gutted for you, mate. The desync issues, and that were your monitors. I mean, we witnessed where you clipped the. I'm trying to think which one it was. What one the other cars? And yes, it was. Thank you. I would have got there in the end eventually. But yeah, it was just one of those things you could see where you were just driving blind, and you were just. It's one of those tough situations where just praying. Don't hit anything, and you're trying to think where you are and do the right thing, but you're driving blind, and it must have been like infuriating as well as just sort of not scary because it's not real life, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it kind of is scary. So because your first thought is, am I going to ruin someone else's race, especially that early on when everyone's still bunched up. Thankfully, Jamie, my teammate, was able to tell me, no, you're relatively clear, and I just held it as straight as I could, and you kind of just hope for the best. But yeah, for it to happen, we had 2 5-second screen freezes in the first couple of laps. It kind of set the tone for the race, unfortunately, for us. But yeah, we did our best. We managed to close up a little bit on some of the guys in front, but it's just the way it goes. It's over the 4 races, it's been awesome. It's been great fun. Some really competitive driving from everybody. Yeah, it's just been a genuine pleasure to be involved.
And I'll set you nicely up for the plug because I know it's coming anyway, I'm sure, or you'll probably get in trouble if you don't plug it. Obviously, you drive, the simcoach.co.uk car, and they're our title sponsor for this league. How has it improved your driving since joining up with them?
Massively, frankly. I've been with them under a year, and just to put it in sort of an IR perspective, I've gone from 1.1k to just about 2.1k at the moment. So a big improvement for me. The coaching styles of all the guys, so Josh, Buzz, Andy Dawson, and obviously the other Josh Wilson as well. They've all got subtle different styles, and it all feeds into the overall experience. And yeah, it really gives you confidence to be able to push forward and actually enjoy it as well. Really encourage the enjoyment factor of iRacing, and make it fun.
Well, I was going to say congratulations. I don't know. That's just normally my default thing, but it's.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I was going to say I don't know how that quite works for hardware issues, but well, either way, I mean, been thrilling watching this season, Dean, and well, congratulations on the IR game. There you go.
Yes, thank you.
There we go.
Yeah, just as you say, we've got to get the shill in for the Sim Coach guys. Anyone out there, please come and join us. It's a great community, and hopefully you can learn something too.
There you go. Well, congratulations, Dean. We'll move.
Thank you.
We'll move on. We've saved the I would say the best to last. The biggest degenerate to last, I think, is probably the most applicable turn. Josh Wilson, Effect 909.
Evening, Timothy.
Evening. Yeah, I mean, well, Austin put in a cracking stint first on, didn't he? You know, closing up to JD.
Yeah, Austin did great as well to avoid all the chaos that was happening in the beginning as well. There was spun cars, free wides.
Yeah, it was a bit crazy at the start, wasn't it? Like you said, that, you know, we caught parts of it, you know, where they're free wide cars flying off. I mean, it probably did you a favour, you know, there was only 13 GT3s or 12 others, including yourself.
Yeah, but we calculated the Ford putting on pole was like, oh, okay, and then I messed up the quali and X'd my 4/10 better lap, and we was in a position where, you know, if we have an unlucky spin or anything, we could lose the championship here because that Ford was looking amazing. So yeah, it was all to play for. And unluckily, over the limit racing had their quali dock on, so it kind of, you know, put them out really for it, which is a shame.
Yeah,
So it would have been fun fighting them the entire race really for that. We needed to finish like maximum 2 behind them or something like that, so it could have been really close.
Yeah, I know what you mean. As much as it's sort of, it would have made it more interesting. It's sort of like, it does relieve a lot of the pressure. And I mean, yeah, I mean that Mustang. I mean, both the Prasander lads were saying it was just mental. They got low downforce, and combined with them, you know, they were saying that the McLaren was quite challenging to drive around Silverstone. It's definitely not the OP car for that track.
Yeah, it was the first time I've ever driven a GT3 here for this
Okay.
today. So I don't really know. I was asking them in the chat as well, like if McLaren's good or not, because I thought it felt fine. So I guess there's better cars out there. So yeah, no,
And
I enjoyed it.
for yourself, you're normally used to killing GT3s rather than being one of them. How have you found the change from prototypes down to GTs?
Weird. It's been all right, track dependent. Interlagos was absolutely horrendous, and I hope it gets nuked. But Spa was really enjoyable in the McLaren, and I did kind of enjoy Silverstone today, so it's not been too bad.
Okay, so you know, a mixed bag. You know, it's not too bad, not too great. You ticked it off the bucket list, sort of thing.
It's off the bucket list. I don't think I'll be entering the GE3 League again. This was just because the GTPs got pulled out, but it was fun to race with people in these cars.
Definitely. Well, congratulations on the championship, and yeah, well done.
Thank you very much. I just want to say shout out as well to Austin. He really killed it at Interlagos. He literally turned up like 5 minutes before and just was instantly on pace with no practice. Did 2 stints in a row there, and without him doing that, we wouldn't have won this championship. So shout out to Austin and VexSimulations.com and also simcoach.co.uk. Check it all out. Thanks for the season.
Okay. Plugs are plenty there from the Effect Boys and Simcoach. And well, hey. Let's be honest. Actually, tell you what. Let's do this properly. Let's do the proper. There you go. Yeah, thank you, SimCoach, sponsoring, and of course, Motorsport UK for offering some bloody brilliant prizes. And well, I don't know how I feel about this. Weird, but it's done for the season. Me done completely. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been emotional. 4 years of seeing some crazy ass shit, some spectacular stuff, and yeah, just never been surprised from people weaving down the back straight in celebration and then disconnecting just below the line because they've slowed up to weave and celebrate. To people running along the wall to unhook their cars, to people binning it on the last lap of 4-hour endurance races. Poor baby. Yeah. Belle in FTR, in GT4s. Yeah. 5 minutes before the end of a 4-hour race. Yeah, found the only piece of grass and stuck a wheel on it and stuck it straight in the wall, wrote the car off, and yeah, finished last. In his class. Yeah, he'll love me mentioning that one. No, in all honesty, yeah, It's where I started with the UKSR, literally 4 years ago, pretty much to the month, and GC Free League. And it's weird watching, seeing so many people grow up from that, and I've, sort of gone on to great things, to working with pros, to working with so many great brands. What have I worked with? Elgato, MSI, Mercedes-Benz. It's been an absolute pleasure. But no, thank you for having me. Thank you for allowing me to share part of your and my journey. And, well, for the last time, very much. It's been a pleasure. Congratulations to Effect. Double championship winners. I said 2 years ago, they were one of my 3 teams to watch, and they're just reinforcing that time. Maybe I do know the odd occasional. Thank for all the people I've worked with. Apex, leagues, there's been so bloody many of them. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Very much.